All right, hey guys, we're back again at Fender Garage. I'm Jason, the host of this episode, or all episodes, if for that matter. And so what we got is a couple of wiring harnesses here. We get asked often, which wiring harness do I need to use for my project? And I can see how that would be really a difficult question because there's a lot of confusion on what wiring harnesses do. So if you're doing a swap, then there's a wiring harness for the engine and the portion that makes the engine stand alone outside of whatever car it's actually supposed to be in, whether it's a General Motors or it's Ford. Then you also have the wiring that is for all the headlights, the blinkers, the steering column, the tail lights, and turn signals, and the horn, and all that other stuff that you gotta light up. And so when we're talking like a Coyote swap, one of the things we're trying to figure out is which harness makes the most sense. And so what we have today are two wiring harness kits that we use here at Fender Garage, and both of them are made from a company called American Auto Wire. And so there's a lot of great companies out there. This is just the one that we chose to use. We think it's the best. It's the most universal. It offers, you know, the best compatibility with what we're doing, and yet at the same time actually is, you know, pretty reasonable. So with that, what is it, the difference between the two? Well, this one right here, I'll put this up, will show that it's for a 1967, 1972 Ford F100 pickup. All right, so this is what they call a classic update. So if you have a regular 67, 72 Ford pickup truck, you're just restoring it, you want all the original wiring back inside of it, and you want it to look factory complete, this is the kit you want right here. Now, it's gonna cost you about $850 roughly, but it's gonna have everything you need. All the headlight switches, the ignition switch, everything that would be original to your truck right here. So it's very organized and easily to install. So, but we'll show you some differences. Now this one is what we call the American Auto Wire Highway 22 Plus kit. And we keep both of these in stock. And so with this kit, it is a general universal kit, 22 circuits, and it has your horn relay, and it's got fan relays and all that kind of stuff. So all set up, ready to go, but isn't catered to any vehicle specific. But I want to talk about some of the differences. Now, we'll open these up, and we will show you some of the differences between these two. So as you can see, there is just a ton of instructions for the classic update kit. Just a ton of information here. What goes where and how you're gonna wire this all up, okay? Because it's all based off of the Ford pickup truck, right? When I open up my instructions for the universal one, you can see that it's just a very generic diagram, okay? Very generic. Not as much information. So if you're a little bit nervous about doing wiring and you're just definitely restoring a truck, this definitely is going to give you a little bit more information. So, but one of the main differences for me when we're doing this comes down to this big bag right here. And I'm going to open this up. So if you buy this bag from me and it's already open, you'll know this is the one that I opened. All right, so here we go. We get this open right here. And I'm gonna carefully pull this out so I don't get it too tangled up. And here's the fuse box right here that mounts into your truck. Now, if you take a look at it, it's all connected. All these wires are ready to go. You put this back in the factory location, and it's going to look very similar to what you had. And then this, you can start just pulling the wires, running them wherever they need to go. Tail lights, and they're all labeled. Everything's labeled on this, and so pretty straightforward. But it's all connected right here, and that's one of the main differences. Now, if we look at this one over here, you can see the difference between these two right here. This one's a little bit bigger, and it's labeled right here, but there's no wires connected to it. You see that? You've got, you know, a main connection to run the main power here and accessories, but size of the box is different. This is labeled a little bit right here. You put all your fuses in here, your relay, but this is all nice, neatly organized. And you run your wires. They give you a little screwdriver here that you can basically loosen this up, run your wire in it, tighten it down, and then you can have all your wires come out taking 90 degrees, and they'll be all nice and neat and organized. So it also gives me the opportunity to not only just keep my wiring organized, but if I needed to actually relabel this circuit and I want it to be, you know, named something different than what this is, it's very easy to print a label out and change this out. This is not so easy to do that. And so when we're doing Coyote swaps, we like the ability to, one, have this be universal, have all the extra fan relays, horn relays, and all the additional circuits that we need, but also be able to run our wires to it from wherever we are, run to it, and have it all zip tied nice and neat and nice and clean, not having it like this. We can get that down there. Just not quite as clean when we're doing these really nice builds. So every Coyote swap, LS swap, we're using this right here. So, well, you might ask, you know, a harness here that's, you know, a few $100 more than this one. Well, why is this just a no-brainer versus this? And well, the reality is this actually does have a lot of stuff that you get. I mean, you're getting, you know, all the Ford components that you'd have in your truck. You're going to get a Ford headlight switch, so that's going to be the same as what you've had. Same Ford ignition switch. You're going to get the same standard type of wiper switch, and you're going to get all the connections, all the fuses, relays, and all the little pigtails and stuff that you're gonna need to connect in all this stuff. So it's going to be very factory original. This is going to be, they're going to give you a lot of those same things, but it's going to be more just generic, universal, General Motors components. And so more complicated in some ways, but more complete. And so it's very vehicle specific. And so this is going to be the same no matter what Ford or Chevy truck you're actually working on. If you get the classic update kit, it's going to be designed to be just exactly like your truck is. Not ideal in my opinion, and there'll be many of you guys that can comment below and tell me if I'm wrong or not, but this is a much simpler process. It is less money. It's a great product, both of them. We love them both. We use them both here. But whether it's a 53, 56 Ford, 67, 72 Chevy C10, you're going to be able to get a classic update kit for all those. And honestly, if I was doing my own wiring and I was just restoring something, I'd go and I'd buy this every single time. It would just be that much simpler. And so, but if I'm definitely doing any kind of a swap, doing this one right here. So now, this is not going to run your motor. Okay, this might help provide a 12-volt power reference that your motor might need, but this does not run your Coyote swap or your LS swap. That's a whole different set of wiring harnesses that you're going to need. There's usually an engine harness with the Fords, and then a Ford Racing control pack, which we sell, which helps make standalone. And then there's full harnesses that you can buy that are for an LS swap, which will be one harness, plug it all in, has all your injectors and everything. I will say that with LS's, the harnesses are a little simpler than the Coyote swaps because a lot of guys are making them, but the Ford control pack, honestly, there's like 7 wires once you get it all plugged in and the motor's up and running. And so I hope that helps. It can be a little bit confusing because wiring is probably the single most difficult struggle that when you're putting it all together, it's when you spread all this wiring out, there's a ton of it. It can feel like a spaghetti mess. But what I always tell people is one wire at a time, make it nice and clean, run it all the way to where it goes, and just take one wire at a time. You'll actually complete it. If you're trying to do every single wire and run it all and connect, you know, one wire at a time. It just keep it simple. That's why I kind of like this kit, is because it is one wire and I can get that wire connected and kind of route it the way I want to go. Where this one, I kind of have to deal with all the wires at one time. And so I can't, take those out nearly as easy. I mean, I could unpin it a little bit, but it's not that easy, where this allows me to deal with just one wire at a time. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you guys understand a little bit about electrical wiring and why we use American Auto Wire here. Both great harnesses, a great company. We love working with them, but there you go, that's the explanation. So make sure you head over to fatfendergarage.com, or there's a link in our bio if you want to go there as well. You can find all these parts on our website and purchase. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell so you can be notified next week of our new Tech Tuesday. And then we have new Fat Fender Garage videos, of course, every Tuesday coming out. We're trying to be faithful and stick to it as much as we can. But be sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and we will see you next week. Thanks.